Cybersec, welcome on in. How are you? How is the day going? I forgot something. That's my bad. That's my bad. Cool. It is Friday, so that's some news that are good for a lot of people. I know. Um, but it's it's fine. You're using Webflow? Hmm. Hmm. Mine is shit. First of all, it's only 1:30 in the afternoon, so not so long, but so far it is shit. The issue that we had on stream on Wednesday about logging in have been half resolved, and I don't understand why now it breaks when it was fine earlier. And then, as Jerome has mentioned, he can't log out. So once you're logged in, you can't get out. And not that it really matters, you can clear your cache and change your cookies and whatever and have basically a logout thing, but you can't log out, which is really bad. So I've been trying to fix that since yesterday, and I can't find a fix. So that's bad. That is bad. And it's the type of thing where I'm starting to have the app thing be big enough that it's too big for the Cloudflare worker to deploy it. And I can't afford the $5 a month yet for that specific thing. So I'm at a bit of a crossroad where either I remove features from the current build or I just leave it kind of broken, and that's not good either. So it's really bad. It is really bad. Um, Other than that, good. I guess I didn't feel like I slept well enough, but apparently I slept well enough. So apparently, based on the rain, as always, um, it's been windy around here, and more windy than usual in the sense that because I know that my building needs to redo the entire carpentry. Like the entire roof needs to be redone. I know that wind is not really good, but because the homeowners are cheap and French, we haven't decided to redo the carpentry, and therefore, um, when it's windy, we never know if it's just gonna fly out at some point. So I doubt it, but last night was really, really strong winds. It was snowy on Tuesday, I think. Yes, Monday or Tuesday. Really nice, really nice outside. Some of my neighbors have sent pictures from their windows, and it's pretty. But as Parisian snow is, it is there for 8 to 12 hours, and then it's gone. So yeah, it was where for or there for very, very, very small amount of time, but it was still snowy and neat. But yeah, I don't know. I don't know. Other than that, again, I don't. I mean, I do get it, but I don't get it. the heart section right there is hurting, and the heart is here, you know. So it's underneath, and I don't know exactly what is underneath other than my ribs. So the ribs are hurting. Um, and I need to figure that out. I think I could have done that if I took the time to, um, like, hmm, if I opened my window, I probably would have been able to have a snowman. We had like this 15 centimeters ish of snow, at least on my balconies. Or this way, it's not a balcony, but I can still get out. And I could have made like a little snowman for sure. Specifically because it was like one of these um, very icy snow. So not fluffy snow where you can really build something, but mostly something that you can compact and then it's just icicle. So it could have been done, but I didn't. I didn't. I think this is something that I wanted to do since last time. So let me just do that. Let me move you somewhere around here, and then I think um let's see, can I do that? I can do that. Cool. Now these bubbles are going to grow inside of the camera, which makes a lot more sense. Makes a lot more sense. I could even like place it somewhere around here to be more aligned with the content. Not perfect, but good enough. Just so that. Also, laughing make my ribs hurt, which is really bad. It is really bad. I'm gonna die on stream one day. It's gonna be fine. It's gonna be fine. Um, we don't have much, as always, on Fridays is mostly review days. So if you have anything that you want me to take a look at, please feel free to share a link in chat. That's always appreciated. We've been struggling, or technically I have been struggling with this section of the app for the past 2 days. So log out work in local dev, but it doesn't work in production, and that makes no sense. And logging in works without working, which is the worst thing that could happen. So basically, if I'm logging in here, or if I want to log out, if I do that, I'm getting a 404, which makes absolutely no sense. That the page that I'm currently on is not found. That makes no sense. And my brain doesn't understand it. The cursor doesn't understand it either. So that's really bad. The only way that I have to log out is to clear my cache and cookies and then log in. The thing is, when I do that, when I'm trying to log in, it doesn't work, but it works. So visually speaking, it's broken. It's a loop. Nothing happens, and it doesn't really give you like an error. Like the clerk login page is fine. But then if you reload the page, you're logged in. So it works in the background, but it doesn't work in the front end, and I don't know exactly how to do that or how to fix that. So that's really bad. However, I added this section for later. So if you are like a paid subscriber, you will have access to your analytics where you would see how many people are coming inside of your ban, what card have been clicked, what are their devices, and who is like the top preferer, the usual thing from analytics to get you some information. So that's now live-ish if you can log in. So that's cool. And I think Techie mentioned that, or maybe it was someone else. I forgot, but I think it was Techie. Overall, the buttons didn't have any pointer action, like you didn't have the hand change. And so now I made sure that this is happening on most buttons. This one is not working, and I don't know why. So, you know, um, eh, it's fine. But yeah, and going back to what Jeroen said, Jeroen, uh, the delay, the 30 seconds delay on when the thing is currently synced with the front end is now fixed. So it's sync automatically. It's live. So if you are currently in your editor and someone is watching your whatever page you are or you are doing and you do that, this is going to be synced automatically. They will see the cards rearrange themselves. So that's live unless you are currently typing somewhere. So if I do that and I start typing here, it pauses the entire sync system until I get out of the field and then it relaunched the sync. So that's a good thing. We'll see if that helps in the long term. But yeah, so that's where we are. The most important thing is I can't have you log out. And that's really bad. And that is really bad. Interesting. A bit slow and laggy on this, but I guess it's fine. Ooh, that's cute. That is cute. Not gonna lie. It's very white. That's gonna be my first reaction. Your text animation for operation is really cool. That's really nice to see. Very simple, but it works. I like the minimalism of it. Um, I think this is really nice. The security thing at the top for the hover effect is a cute thing. Um, but overall, really nice. These icons are nice and fine. Like there is nothing really that stands out as a bad thing. Like the product icon are good. If that is the product icon that you're talking about, this is a bit laggy when I'm scrolling uh, like slower because I realize that there is something in 3D in the background and therefore I'm going to go slow. And that's just because you have one notch of scroll equal one frame. You might want to have like more images if that's an image-based thing, or have this as a video playing on scroll, which might have been the same issue, the same thing anyways. Other than that, I think the easiest way for you to get this thing without the lags would be to use spline directly. And so you embed the 3D object in the view. And then on scroll, you just ensure that it has this rotation thing. As said, as showcased, as I have shown in the past, that that's gonna break the stream. This one, not this one. I saw that. Everything is fine. Don't worry about it. I knew it was about to crash the stream. But basically this thing, I don't know if you've seen, but basically on scroll, we have that effect. And that effect could be something that you add very quickly. Again, it is something that just, it has a base state, it has a end state for the angle, and then you have the animation that is based on scroll, and that would be enough. So, you know, you can 100% do that, put that in your background easily, and then have that without the lags. Um, but yeah, other than that, the website is pretty cool. I don't know if you want to add stuff, as in visuals or other elements here and there, but I wouldn't. I feel like I wouldn't. The only thing that I might say, and this is a debatable point, but it is a point nonetheless. I might recommend you to get your buttons to be fully squared. So instead of having them with a slight rounded corners, in order to match what you currently have around here, having your button in fully square format would be more business, more luxury, more straight to the point, no fluff, whatever. And then keeping your icons and project icons really rounded to have like a bit of a clash in between the two could be interesting. Um, but it's a could be thing. And then if I go into a screenshot on this one, because that's the place. Do I have that open? Yeah. Well, dang, that was crazy. One of the new thing kind of trend-ish, I don't know, is people that are doing uh this. So they have that color, and then they use a stroke that is that color, and they use that in outside of center or whatever, which is basically what you currently have. But these cards that they have a bit of corner radius that create the small radiated element in the transition in between thing, which if you do that would be a good thing to keep your existing corner radius here. But yeah, no, that's a small potential detail that you can have. One of the example that I have in my head right now for that is going to be Align UI, which you probably know about. But, you know, they have these kind of card things here and there. Also, right now, this one is the non-Figma thing. I think it's on the Figma thing that we have the cards, unless they have once again changed their landing page, which appears to be the case. God damn it. Everyone changes everything all the time nowadays, so I can't keep up. But they used to have that exact thing here, and now they change, and that is not centered, which is really bad. But yeah, that's a potential thing that you could do to make it like a bit more, I don't know, professional, luxury based thing. Um, Other than that, it's really good. And if I just reload the page, your animation for the titles is really good. I'm impressed. You did really good there. Like it's such a subtle thing. It might be for some people, it might be considered as slow, but I feel like it's the right speed to make the users notice that there is a bit of color that is popping in, but then fading out, and it's the brand color that is going in. So that's, I think that's a very, very nice touch, and it's really cool. The only thing that might be good for change is the header to have it like either contained or have uh, an effect behind it, mainly because here, for example, you end up with unreadable content. So you can't really, it doesn't really matter, but some people will complain. Um, but yeah, you have like some readability issues here and there when you have some text on top of the text. And most people will say, well, I can just do that and then I can read. But yeah, the people that would stand here would say, So getting something like that, at the top would be pretty good for, just getting the readability issue kind of out. Even here, I have some issues here and there, but most of it is kind of fine. And then it's breaking because my Mac is broken, so don't worry about it. But yeah, that's an option. The other thing would be something like planned. Um, the the header situation when you are scrolling or when you were scrolling, I don't know exactly if it's on this one or if it's somewhere else. I forgot. Welcome, hi. Welcome on in. Good day. Um, that header that is going from what you currently have to a contained floaty thing so that you ensure that you have readability all the way through is a pretty good idea. But other than that, you know, it's such a small detail. I wouldn't really mind, to be honest. Um, yeah, good job. You said it was a work in progress for review. I think it's a very good work in progress. Like everything is working, everything makes sense. Alignment is good, sections are good, content is pretty nice. Um, if I need to nitpick, because I can, these icons might be a bit too big in the sense that the red is really red and you could just have the check in red without the circle. But then if you do that, you end up with some sort of an alignment issues. Visually speaking, a tick is really small and doesn't necessarily make a lot of sense or um, is recognizable from far away for some users. So, you know, just uh, just a detail. But that's it. That's it. This and the icons. The rest is good. The rest is good. Um, and then you don't have the anchors for all of them yet. And I just noticed that you're using the star for the dot separator that you're also using right here for the scroll hint. That's cute. That's cute. That's coherent across everything. So we do like it. We do like it. Good job. Nothing more than that, to be honest. At least not there. So that's something. Ah, God damn it. You're welcome. Welcome. How was your week? Because it is Friday officially. God damn. Oh. I am dying. I have issues in my ribs. Ribs be hurting. So ribs and heart are in the same position. Kinda. One day I figure out what's wrong with me. Not today, apparently. In the small details that I changed as well, I made the gradient colors for specific platforms be from the bottom to the top, and I made um, the image in the background being less saturated to ensure that we have contrast ratio in most situation. We have some issues in the light mode. Sorry for the flashbang in a second. Like here, we have some readability issues on this and this because of the grays that I chose. Once I fix that, that would be done. And then I also changed something that is really useful, which is if you have a link and the OG image that is fetched is low quality, but you want to replace that with something that is better, you can now change the image directly. And I made a bit of a teeny tiny thing where you see what is currently fetched. So that's the first thing. And then if the card that you're checking is horizontal, you have the preview in horizontal card here. If the card is a square, you have the preview in a square. I need to figure out how I can style this thing, but because it is coming from this package, I don't really have the hand on the thing. Why are you hurting so much right now? Um, so yeah, that's a new teeny tiny change that will help me fix this section specifically because I have four. I mean, technically, I have 5 Instagram accounts, but I have 4 Instagram accounts, and with the current system, I'm only fetching the fav icon, which is the same for all of them. So, yeah. You're basically a zombie right now. What did you do to be a zombie right now? So yeah, that's the current thing. And as stated, if I want to log out, I can't. It's so bad. So bad. I see. That's really bad. That is indeed not a good thing. Indeed, not a good thing. Well, you probably have, but have you tried having a workout before bed? Sometimes that helps. Um, it just like makes you active, and then you get tired-ish, and then you just fall down and sleep. The other thing that I've seen or that I can recommend is sleep whenever. This is a recommendation from the the crew in airplanes. They always tell me the same thing. They say I sleep when I can. Like if it's 20 minute there, it's gonna be 20 minute there. That's it. If it's an hour, it's an hour. If it's more, it's more. But I don't really have a choice, and I need to be alert when I'm on the plane. Usually, the plane are the long haul from Paris to Tokyo, and they all tell me the exact same thing. Either they are the type of people that can sleep anywhere and they start sleeping and then they have their whole sleep section of the flight that is good, or it's the opposite and they go up, they sleep for 20 minutes, they come back down and they work. Like that's the thing. So if you can do that, if that's an option for you and you can just take 10 minutes, 15 here and there. Um, I mean, maybe try that. Maybe try that then. Maybe try that. And it doesn't mean or need to be a workout as in a 2 hour workout in the gym, far away and such. Like it can just be you doing jumping jacks in your living room, bothering the neighbors that are underneath, doing some crunches on your bed before bed, doing some stretches, like it can be whatever, as long as it moves your muscles and tires you a bit, it could help. Like the amount of time that happens to me where I wake up at 6, um, and I go to the gym, and then I come back here, and I just go back to sleep, just because the workout was good, but it's also I needed more sleep, and then I just go back to sleep. I sleep for 2 hours, and then I'm back up, or maybe sometimes just 1 hour. That's something that like my body was needing at that point, and I took the opportunity and I did the thing. So yeah, it does require willpower, and that's on you. Can't do anything about it. Um, but if you know what would provide willpower, maybe do that. Maybe attempt that. Like again, I've done that before when I was doing the icons for uh, this one. It didn't go through. My bad. Sorry, that's the wrong thing for this one. Um, I basically had um, a box of these on my desk. And what was happening was, okay, it's there, but you don't touch it until you're done with this section of the icons. And that was the motivation. And so I I just I finished one of the section, I got one, and then I started working on the next section, and I got another one, and I finished the entire box in one day, like I always do. But it's still motivation, and I got 99% of the content in the icons done by the end of the day because motivation. So if you know your motivators, maybe do that. Maybe do that. Maybe find something that just works for you. One of the other thing I know that some people have some sort of a money-driven achievement cycle, so they would love to have money coming in. And one of the thing that I have figured out for me is even if it's fake, for some people it works. So I'm not like money driven, you know that, everyone knows that. But for the people that worked with me as money driven, what I gave them was um, a bit of a cookie clicker type of situation where they saw how much of their salary they got by doing the task that they were supposed to do. So, like you have this task, and then when they complete it, it's just the amount paid in the top of the page increasing. And that sometimes was enough to just motivate them, even though it's just a fucking automated plus 15, every time. It still worked. So if you are, that's an option. That is an option. Um, but yeah, I would say that would be the best option for you to find your motivators and then use said motivator to get motivated and do stuff. Figure out what you can do. But yeah, if the willingness and the willpower and everything for workout and before bed isn't there, hot shower is always a good option. The other thing is melatonin, like some of the gummies for going to sleep are good. There is one that I liked, but obviously I don't know the name or the brand. Is just like it's a big ass brown box, like circular box, with multiple strats of colors. You probably have seen that in some of the pharmacies around here because they are kind of trying to push that to the public because no one wants to buy them. For some reason, I don't know why, it's pretty good. It's a lot of plastic though. If you're kind of eco-friendly, don't buy them. They have a good, I wish I could find them. They have a good box that is like a cardboard box, circular. It's a nice packaging and so on. But then every single gummy inside is um, wrapped in plastic. So they have like basically single-use plastics for each of the gummies inside of the box, which is not good. It's not something that we want. So yeah, but it's a good thing. They basically uh, they worked really well to put me to sleep, and then they didn't keep me to sleep, which is kind of sad. But also, at that time, I was drinking two big ass C4 a day. So I'm guessing if I take one now, I'm probably gonna be fine. However, with the level of heart rate that I have right now, my heart rate last night, lowest heart rate was 41 beats per minute, and that is not a lot. So the meds are working, but goddamn. But yeah, no, it is good. But there is like a ton of other med and thing that you can get in the pharmacies that are going to be helpful for you to get like to sleep and to stay asleep. Um, but I guess the best option remains whenever. Like, if you have a sofa, I don't know. If you have a sofa, you just get there, you lay down, and if it takes you out, takes you out. If it doesn't, it doesn't. But yeah, what you need is rest. Rest for your body, rest for your brain, rest for the thing that you're doing. And so just moving to a place that is calmer and easier for you to just slow down. That might be enough. That might be enough. We never know. We never know. But yeah, I would say that's the situation. That's the easiest thing for you. And finding the motivator is the most important thing. Letting the motivator do its job is also like something that you need to do, but that's not necessarily something that is easy to do. And after that, it's a matter of ensuring that you are respecting the motivators. Um, so yeah, that's the that's the situation, at least for me. Anyways, I don't know how I can fix this thing now. I That's the wrong button. I don't know how this can be fixed. I wish someone who has understanding about clerk and session management could help, because it doesn't make any fucking sense to get a 4-4 when you're trying to log out. Like, the most important thing for me is the logs right here in the console. I'm getting a 4-4 when I click this button. So it means that something in there is not found, and there is nothing in the logs themselves that make any sense to me as a non-dev. So that's wild. And then when you try to log out, you're getting a 4-4 again on the same value. And then something about the post and the get don't answer from the server of clerk for anything. And it's just, it doesn't make any sense. And I don't know. I don't know. That's where we are. I don't know. And I've been at it for 2 days now. All day yesterday and all this morning today until now. And it just doesn't work. It doesn't work and nothing makes sense. Yeah. Also, because I'm working on this thing, which is TypeScript and shit, and this is SwiftUI and good, I feel that's on a me to me thing. I feel like I'm losing my skills in SwiftUI, so I will need to go back there soon but I also want to get the band project to be done and good as soon as I can, so that we have something working and stable and good enough for everyone to use. But goddamn, that's that's not the easiest thing. So that's the link in question if you want to check it out. Um, but yeah, no, SwiftUI is so much better. SwiftUI is so much better. Oh my god. Damn. We added something earlier today to clean up the build time and the overall cache that is in the code by default, and it just makes the load time on device fucking longer than expected because it needs to recompile everything every time I'm rebuilding everything. So that not the most fun thing to have. What? It's there. It's fine. It's fine. It is fine. So we'll see. We will see when things happen. But yeah, no, so far the only thing that I need to figure out is this section. I don't get it. I really have a hard time understanding why something like clerks that is supposed to make sure that my whole system of auth is simplified doesn't simplify my whole system of auth and authentication. That is something that I need a back-end dev or front-end dev that knows what they are talking about to, come and explain, because goddamn, that's bad. Um, Other than that, we've had some things on the social media platforms that were like pretty good when it comes to what we've seen in the trends, but there hasn't been like a lot of really good trends that I can just showcase as much. Not really. There are some stuff, but they are not like so much. So we'll see. We will see. There is one that I kind of liked-ish. I guess this could be right there in terms of being faster overall. 1 second. I know it's blood. Chris, welcome in. How are you? How's the day going? Can I do that now? Can it just go there and connect? Cool. So there is, oop, that's too much. There is this app that we've talked about before, right? Joy Software is a to-do app type of situation where you have your to-dos and you can just add stuff for the day and so on. This is the interface, which I think I need to do that instead. Which is kind of sad, but I get it. In order to show you exactly what I'm talking about. And I doubt the details are going to show up on stream when I'm in light mode, but I am crossing fingers right this instant. Like, that's the crossing finger situation. Anyways, all of that interface and things is pretty cool, and we have access to views, whatever. And we have these settings, right? And one of the things that I like about these settings is that they are using this magnificent bubbly, sparkly thing in the background for the effect on the blue and the gradient and so on. Cool. You see that? You see the thing? Good. Good. Keep that in mind. Today, someone that is French, apparently, based on the name, posted something, and they posted this. as saying they are building like a new app icon for their product. Hmm? And I downloaded it. And I'm like, that looks really, really familiar. The red dot for today, exactly the same as Joy software. That's very a staple of what Joy is doing. Um, it's where you start. And then you have the same navigation system at the bottom. And then guess what is in the settings? Did you have no idea what to create? It's almost the same. They couldn't create the bubbly thing, so instead of making things go up, they make things fall down. It's the same blue, it's the same gradient, it's the same positioning. The entirety of the settings section is roughly the same based on the color scheme and whatever they are using. It's really wild to me that people are like, oh yeah, I'm gonna just copy something 100%. And then their system for new task is exactly the same as well. So I am kind of sad because it could have been great. Um, but no. Mainly, I mean, for me, the most important thing is this navigation system pattern that they have created, which is really good. When someone is recreating something like this, then I know where things are coming from, what was the inspiration. But goddamn, kind of sad, kind of sad to see. But then the reason why I said French is uh, that name is very French or Canadian. Uh, and I took a screenshot of one of their things as well because, well, they forgot an E because quiet isn't the easiest thing to think about in French. So I'm expecting either they are like me, which is fine, or no. And yeah, but dang, when you put them side by side, I mean, I'm not saying that it's exactly the same because it's just a principle of settings, right? You have your uh, sales stuff at the top, and then you have, your settings underneath. But same colors, same content, same values. Obviously, I am paid on this one. Um, goddamn, it's wild. It's wild to me. Nonetheless, forget about it. Um, what ID do you have? What ID do you have? I would love to have a thinking session with you, Dane, if you want, because that could help, as always. In the thing that I have as IDs, that I know, and we've talked about that before. Freelancers have issues with managing their budget and managing their overall income, outcome, taxes, things. So if you are looking to build a product that is open source and or like self-hosted open source, but paid if you take care of the services, which is like a common platform. That like freelancer budgeting app is a very, very interesting project that you can have. It contains a lot of simple things to put in place, but if it's done well, you end up with one of the potentially successful platform that you could create. So that's one of them. The other one is subscription tracking. A lot of people are doing subscription tracking lately. Not saying that it's something that people are needing, because there are new ones every day, roughly. And the one that are popping in since last year have been pretty good. But they are like useful, and what they currently are lacking, all of them, is budgeting. So going back to the freelancer thing, they need budget. People, as a regular thing, also need to budget their incomes, outcomes, expenses, and that is something that most of these subscription trackers don't have. So if you implement that on top of one of the subscription tracking, you can have a successful thing. And then the last one is mostly like if you are interested in AI generated images through Nano Banana, the one that I talked about before is you create a wardrobe of the entirety of the user's collection of clothes, and then they post a picture of themselves, and you let Nano Banana define an outfit for the day. So that is based on the clothes in the wardrobes, based on the weather, based on the user wear habits. Today is going to be a snow day, for example, so they need layers, they need other things and whatever, and it will generate like an outfit pick, or an overall like selection of clothes that you can have. This is an interesting thing. I don't need the AI image generation. I don't think it's a good idea. But for some people right now, specifically because it's in the air, that's an option. You can have that to generate outfits and outfit picks really easily. However, the thing that is bad about this is that it's not reliable, right? The picture of the outfit that you would have doesn't look anything like you most of the time. And the garment that you would have, like if you have a sweater, a pole, a cardigan, whatever, it doesn't look the same from picture A and picture B. So that's kind of bad. The easier option, and that's kind of more complex to do, but not necessarily impossible to create. It's doing this, and I don't know if I can show you that or if it works. But let's say I'm going there, because that's where we are. Let's say this is the thing that I just bought, and the app is gonna fetch this one, which is the garment on white background, so that it can scan it, and that's easier. And then from there, it could extract some data based on the descriptions, based on the details, the composition, the whatever, for the user to just say, well, this is something that is called a pull in Kashmir, and therefore this is something that is supposed to be kind of hot-ish. So let's make sure that this is like in the winter category, and then it's recommended for winter. There is a demographic for this. There is a lot of people that are looking for fashion advice and recommendations on what to wear on the day, similarly to the perfume app. But with outfit, it's a bit like an interesting thing. I might do that at some point. I don't know. I don't know exactly how I can fetch the correct data about the garment through the system. Like it would be the exact same thing as the perfume app, where people would have to manually enter the informations. But I mean, I'm not against it. You know, I need to change this. God damn. That is wrong. I've been wearing it since this morning. That's bad. Yeah. Um, I'm guessing this is because I'm on my computer and not on my phone directly. But yeah, like you would need to have like add a new garment to your wardrobes and then define what it is. What is the season that is appropriate for? Um, is it like a hot thing, a cold thing, and then probably other settings, and then potentially the other when did you buy that? But even then, that doesn't really make any sense. Um, yeah, debatable, but potential, potential nonetheless. So what's your IDs? Let me go back in regular things. God dang. um, yeah, me too. I did that as well. Um, I thought about it to bring it to Framer, Figma, and Sketch at once, and then to devs with an npm package. The thing is, I haven't figured out the paid section. That is the only thing. Like, if I can figure out how to ensure paid users get access to the entirety of the collection and free users get access to the free version of the collection, then yes, that's a good thing. But I can't figure that out with the current system in place. So unless I figure out that system of giving every existing users some sort of a license key, then I can't have that happen. But you can create something similar. Um, you could create an open source based icon pack plugin where icons like the listed icons, huge icon, kinda hero icons, and so on could be displayed inside of a plugin. The thing is, Framer already have them built in, but yeah. Um, and so no, there is no API. And then you thought about Framer template and plugin. Could there is a market? Yes, there is. Mood board generator inside an infinite canvas for designers, visual thinker. That is roughly the my mind AI thing. Uh, but yes, who did that? Someone did that. Google did that. I know, small company. Don't worry about it. Um, is it? Where is it? It's probably my interesting tool. Yeah, there. Um, Google Labs did Mixboard, and it's basically what you're saying, kinda. Um, where you can get started with an infinite canvas situation, and then from there you will have the ability to just expand on the content through like ideation, IDs, creation of images, and so on. So it is something that exists, and it could like be a reference for you in terms of getting this, you know, as a base. But yeah, could work, could work. But this one is by Google, so um, not choosable in your countries. I see. Well, in that case, VPN yourself out, scrape the entire website, and then duplicate it and make it available where you are. That like I mean, as in creating your own. So yeah, that's not a bad idea. That is not a bad idea. The only thing that I would say is more probable, even than unsure, is that it is not available in your country now, but it might be available in your country later, in which case you spending time in potentially creating a duplicate and then getting dethroned by Google directly when they arrive in is harder, but yeah, nonetheless, could be something. Could be something. But yeah, in terms of templates and plugin for Framer, um, I mm, I fear, I fear as always. Um, the template section is to me really, really full. Like, if you're looking for business templates, there is more than 2,000 templates already that are already categorized in business. And in order for you to get success on the templates, you need to stand out so much compared to the rest. But also, you need to be accepted by the Framer team. You know that you made like plugins already, so you know how they are for like their request. Anything that is related to templates, they reserve the right to say, oh, that's not up to date anymore. That is not the current design choices that people are making, and therefore this is not a viable thing for our marketplace. So that on its own is already kind of hard to say, but yeah, um, it is overcrowded. However, however, you might be, or you might have something in your hands and in your head that is much better than what we already have, and just work if if you can. Like maybe this is good and you like how that looks and the overall content and you know everything in there is pretty cute and I don't know, I don't really care. But that might be the case. And and maybe your version of this, which is the exact same content in the exact same order and so on, is just a different style, a different layout for some of the sections, but not too much. And that's enough to stand out as a not exactly as the template. So maybe that's the thing. Um, but it is crowded. I would say for templates, it is more crowded than plugins. And plugins, you end up with the same situation that we ended up in 2015, roughly, where um, plugins for Sketch, I mean 2016 when plugins for Sketch arrived, where like the first one were just now you can do this thing. And then a year later, it was now you can do this, and that. And if you don't do all of these 5, 6, 10 things as a plugin, then you don't count because you are single-use plugins when there is other plugins that do a combination of everything. So I have a feeling that this is probably going to happen here as well. Like the probability of dither being just dithering images and content being replaced by a new plugin called image filter, maybe. I don't know if that exists yet, but that incorporates some dithering effect in there. And then this one being just absolutely abandoned because image filter just does everything already. So why get both? Um, that's the thing that I see in plugin lands most of the time. However, as a counterpoint to what I just said, there is a lot of people that love companies and tools that do one thing really well, and that's it. And so if you can achieve better than anyone type of situation plugin, then it's viable. But it needs to be like really, really, really better than anyone. Um, and it's not just how it looks; it's how it works, how it behaves in the long run, what things can be done in there. So it's a lot of work, but it's not, you know, it's not bad. I already see that, right? All-in-one accessibility. Like it could have been an accessibility plugin, but no, it's an all-in-one accessibility plugin. So that, I mean, the commoditification of the things directly inside of a plugins to simplify your workflow and shit like this is already in place. So it is grounded. Um, not again, not a bad idea. I guess something that you could do, which is a bit of a mix of both and could work based on your knowledge of things, is a template for plugins. So basically creating a boilerplate that you sell to people that are building plugins. If you think of it as Tailwind CSS UI kits, like their UI components that is now called Tailwind Plus, you have the ability to just say, you can create everything that is already in Tailwind Plus for free through Tailwind manually, but we have created a set of predefined UI kit, basically, and components that you can just reuse. You could say, I have created a boilerplate for creating plugins, and that boilerplate is better than the original Framer one because it gives you access to things like, I don't know, internal API or whatever workaround that you can figure out. And people would just buy that because it gives them a consistent UI across the entire thing. Simplicity of execution may be something that just works. Like I'm clicking on this one because that's the one that we have in front of us, but maybe you have a UI that looks like this that just is simple, works, aligned with what the user are expecting, and then they can build on top of that UI for plugins specifically with probable like function that do things that might have been a bit more tricky to figure out. Like, I don't know, maybe there is a need for an account and you put that in there inside of the boilerplate that's already set up and the user just needs to enter the API key for the thing and, they're done. So basically limiting the amount of thinking that the user needs to do in order to create a plugin might be a way for you to get inside of the Framer plugins um, and creation. But yeah, I guess that might be the only thing that I see as a potential, uh, like the step just above. So for the people that are creating plugins, you sell them the boilerplate, Bootstrap, basically, but for Framer plugins. It could work. Not saying that it would work, but it could work. It could be something. It might be a bit more tricky to figure out and get. Like, yeah, there is one from Framer directly. But yeah. Wow. I don't know. Um, to be honest, I don't really. I'm privileged when it comes to jobs and searching jobs in the beginning of my career, not now, because now I don't search really. Uh, but overall, um, my one of my first agency job when I moved to Paris was I looked for agencies because I was looking for a design agency to join, and I just went there, um, and I said, I'm looking for something. I currently have options of either you hire me full time or you hire me part time through my school. And they said, let's do that through the school. And then at the end of that 3 months of um, internship kind of thing, I said, well, I either have the ability to get like another school so that we can get like a 3 weeks in at the job and 3 weeks in school and so on, or you hire me full time and they say, we will really like if you can get the school. So I went with the school, and for the week when I wasn't there, everything was so slow that when I went to the school the next time, they called me and they said, well, we're going to offer you like a full time because you're doing too much, too fast, too well for what it is that we need. And it doesn't like make any sense for us financially to not have you for X amount of week for the year. That's like not bragging, kinda, just a little. But still, so they said that. The project that made me get in that specific agency was probably in the first place the fact that I was cheap and motivated because I was like just coming in from like the south of France, so my salary expectation and things and related like internship not really high compared to Paris standards. And then my portfolio in that case was one ish UI related content, some illustrations, and I think there was like some HTML and CSS project in there, but not good. Not to my standards now, not good at all. So that made me get the job. Um, and then just being there and proving that I'm way more um, indispensable. Like they can't work without me. So like that's the thing. Draconia, hi, welcome back. That that didn't work. That's so sad. That's the reason. How are you? How's the day going? So that's it was like a lot of things in that portfolio specifically. It was motion design, illustration, editorial, apps, website, coding. Like there was a lot of things in that portfolio. And then for the job that was after that, I don't know exactly what and if any specific project was the decision making um, for them to hire me. I have no clue. I haven't had like a discussion with them in a long time. Nonetheless, from my point of view, the reason why I got hired at that company specifically was because during the interview in person, I fixed something for them while we were in the interview. And I was basically saying, like, they wanted to make me do like an at-home assignment type of thing. And I was like, well, I don't really do that. However, if you have anything that you are currently working on, would love to take a stab at it right now. Like, fresh, live, so that you can see how I think rather than me coming back home doing work for free for like 4 hours and then coming back here to present it. It makes no sense. So that thing, I think, kind of made me stand out compared to the rest of the potential candidates that they have. But yeah, that's more of a personality thing rather than a project related thing. So yeah, I don't think there has been like any one project that stood out. However, I know of any one project that made me not get a job. So, and that is very much uh, not because the project is bad, but because the company was working on the exact same thing. So, Han is a Japanese language learning app specialized in space preposition and dictionaries that are based on the user interest. And the company that I was like trying to get in is a Japanese language learning app, or technically a language learning app, but also very oriented Japanese, with a set of predefined decks for space repetition system to be tailored to the user interest. So I'm basically, I have built what they wanted to build and what they have built, and therefore I was seen by the CEO as an indirect, direct competitor to them, even though my app has like 3,000 users and theirs is probably under 300,000 users, based on the amount of advertising they do on a daily basis. So I'm not really a competitor, but I'm doing the same thing, which in my head, when I presented it, was I already have built something that is extremely similar to what you are trying to achieve in your project and your product. So I have some like educational understanding, teaching methods, and like materials research that I've done. So I'm like up to date on what needs to be inside of an app that is teaching other people. I have done the technical research as well for me to know how things are supposed to work so that the app works for me. But it was like um, either too good or too close to what they already have, and they didn't want me to be in the company. They didn't say that obviously, but like it makes sense. One of the reasons why it makes sense is because 2 months later they had one of the features that I have put in place in my app. It is without no consulting whatsoever. But again, they have like 300,000 users, if not more, and therefore, yeah, what do you want me to do about it? But yeah, no, that's the thing. I think that would be one of the reason. The other thing is the first agency made me work with Dior, with L'Oreal, with the SNCF, which is one of the biggest companies in France for trains. I've worked with so many high tier clients of France that are now linked to me, and on my resume it's like, yeah, I worked with this one, this one, this one, this one. You just see like big ass names, and that is a selling point for a lot of companies, or at least at the time that was a selling point for a lot of companies. So when you see like that logo, when you see that score, when you see that thing, people care. Nowadays, I don't think, um, personally speaking, I don't think a lot of the projects you've worked for or the schools you went to, I mean, depending on where you are, obviously, um, are impacting anything. Or at least from my point of view, they shouldn't, and they aren't really giving you anything. Like, a good school is neat, like, nothing against that. But a good project where you have the ability to explain why you decided to go in that direction, what was the choices, what was the research and the data that you found about that thing, and then how you implemented it to match what was the response from the user base. Even if it's like a garbage collecting project, as in for garbage collection, um, if the case study, if the content is good, if the UI works, if the client was satisfied and you are good at what you've done, that's a potentially hireable project regardless. In the, I would say the last thing that I could add to this rant of getting hired and project in your portfolio is that when I started working as a designer, if you had done Facebook redesign or Spotify redesign, you were in the top designers of the applicants because you were proving that you could like rethink a platform. Nowadays, if I see a Facebook redesign or a Spotify redesign, I discard you because I have seen that 50,000 times already. And therefore you have no originality and there is nothing interesting about your profile other than you are the exact same thing as the past 50 applicants in that job. So the originality and the more like creative projects are taking the cake in some departments. Not all the times, not in all companies, of course, but it is like it is a thing. And then I said it was the last point, but that's not. My brain is going somewhere else. The counterpoint to this is, and that's very applicable to me for Japan, they don't like me having my own projects. So as we said before, Japanese people and Japanese companies do not count freelance time as work because you worked for yourself. It doesn't count as experience in work time for a company. So if you have been, like myself, a freelancer for the past 10, 15 years and a designer for the past 20 in total with like mix and match of freelancing and non-freelancing and in-house in companies in startup in agencies and so on, the whole time where you were freelancing doesn't count for them. So in their eyes, I have 5 years ish of experience, whereas in reality, I have way more than that because I was like in between, or I had like a company job, but the freelance was there as well, and therefore it doesn't count. So that's a thing. So depending on the company, depending on the goals and their mentality, you might encounter some people that are like, "Oh, you work for yourself." That's not going to work for us because that means you can basically leave whenever you want to work for yourself again, um, and be sustainable on your own. And we need you to be starving for us to give you some money, basically, so that we can keep you in, which is really bad. But yeah, that's a thing to be aware of um, in some companies. Not good, but yeah, Dapshi, hi, welcome on in. Welcome back. How are you? How's everything? How's the day going? Thank you for that. So yeah, that's the thing. That is a thing. How's how's the screen? I have I don't like it from a UI point of view. I do like it from an icon point of view, and I did like it from a free point of view. And I do like the fact that you have access to most of the latest Google uh, models, but that's about it. I do still prefer Cursor on a daily basis. I have it on my computer though. But yeah, no, I have all of them. Also, quick reminder for anyone that doesn't know what anti-gravity is. Anti-gravity is one of the other um, IDE like developer stuff where you can type code, but you have like an AI assistant that is in there. And Cursor is the same thing. Windsurf is dead, but it's the same thing. Tray is the same thing. Tray is the one from ByteDance. And I have all of them for one single reason. They all have a monthly free tier, and that monthly free tier, sometimes when you reach your limit in one of them, you can just move to the another IDE, ask the same question to the free tier of that specific secondary IDE, have your things fixed, and then come back to your original one um, once you're done with this. So yeah, but yeah, no, anti-gravity is not necessarily my thing. I don't mind it, but it's not. I don't know. In my eyes, it's missing something. Um, so like, you know, I mean, it's the same. UI wise, Trey was the best in the beginning, then they changed it a bit and it's a bit less good, but it's still good. And nah, nah. I don't mind. I do like this a lot. Um, it makes things easier. You have a very faster way of navigating this one, but also it's because I know this more, so it helps. But yeah, that is the reason. It depends on the project, but I would say it's roughly 99.9% on this one. Like it's basically the entire thing. I go in at times to say, oh well, this padding right here is wrong, and we need to have the animation that goes this way, for example, or that color on hover is not supposed to be the gray, it's supposed to be the opposite. We're supposed to have the gray in the first place and then white on hover so that it's brighter. Um, so I'm gonna change that and go change that in the code directly because I can do that sometimes, not all the times. And then you have things like this where 60% is the AI creating it. Like most of the logical stuff is AI generated, but anything that is related to the visuals, like how things are supposed to be aligned and stuff, that's me. So it depends on the project. Kane, hi, welcome in. Good day. How's the credits? Did the credits also that fucking purple on the background? I just noticed that. Goddamn. That was a lot of purple just for you. I appreciate it, but goddamn. um you did whiteboard.me? Did you register like the domain? No. I mean, whiteboard.me is an amazing, it's an amazing domain, but I doubt you can buy this. That's gonna be expensive. Um, no, I mainly do apps. This is my first web project right here. I hate it. um, right there if you want to check it out. But uh, I don't understand shit. Like I'm gonna be honest. I don't know if I have read a single file in there. Um, Thinking about it, I think I haven't. I think the only one that I have really read is the environment file because it's just like I have to paste my API keys and shit. But I can't understand TypeScript for the life of me, so that's really bad. Stony, hi, welcome on in. How are you? How's the day going? Still not a dev. um, but yeah, like that's have a good daily. Um, in my eyes, this is really bad. The fact that I don't know how things work. I have no understanding, and this is also one of the reasons why today and yesterday I've been trying to figure out the fucking log in and log out. As mentioned, if I'm here and I want to, for some reason, um, click on the settings, I'm gonna get a 404 on the button, which makes no sense. And then if I want to log out, I'm getting a 404 again on logging out. So I I don't get it. Um, so that's the thing. However, here, and as Stony mentioned 2 months ago now, in the hashtag not a dev still, um, someone asked something and I proceeded to show it on stream without having to need an AI to help me directly in SwiftUI and explain how the things work because this makes sense to me and I don't know why. So, um, but yes, it is insane that I have built the entire thing without understanding a single thing about it. That that is wild. I agree. I am 100% with you on this one. Um, it doesn't make any sense. It, yeah, it's bad. It is bad. But yeah, this entire thing is really, really simple. And SwiftUI for me is such a better, um, like, designer friendly setup. Like my brain just make it work. The fact that you just happen your properties to the thing, like you have an image, cool. You want it to be a certain style, like it needs to take a color, cool. So you have a foreground style, then you add the color, and then you need like inner shadows, so you add the inner shadows, and it's just like so easy for me. But that's it. Like that's all I can do. So I'm basically a front end mobile builder, which is the most useless thing ever because people need like mobile dev that know how to do back end and front end at the same time, and that's not my case. So and also yes, um, it is job security for the people that know exactly how things work. So, for example, the the band project is due for full refactoring at some point, maybe, in order to be more efficient, in order to be um, better suited for what it's supposed to do, and so on. So that is something for sure. Um, so yeah, also that if you are in security, yes, 100%. Currently, I wouldn't say it's job security for the longest term, and you take that as you wish. But AI assistants and models are getting better and better at writing code, and they will get better and better at writing secure code with time. right? As they were kind of shit at writing code in the beginning, and now they're way much better, and so on. So it will get better. Therefore, your security researcher job is gonna go away, but most of it is gonna be pretty good. So for the next, I would say for the next 3 years for sure, you have the ability to make so much money out of vibe coders that don't know anything about security, that haven't implemented anything related to the security of their app and their project. Like, for example, this one is the only one where I had to care about security. The other one being native iOS app and native Android apps that are running on device, and there is no server, there is no user data, there is nothing else. Um, all of that means that the security of the data is on the device and never leave the device. So unless someone else access the device from an external point of view. Um, so yeah, um, that's that's the thing. So for me, in the next 3 years, you can advertise yourself as a security expert for vibe coders, make banks, because you can just be like, well, if you want good security, it's gonna cost you X amount of money, and then you implement the thing and it's secure and it's good. And the people that don't really understand, like myself, how it's good, are gonna break it in the next like prompt, so you can come back the next month and fix it again. Uh, you know, it's there is money to be made right there. However, that's not gonna last forever. And then it also goes into the discussion of, are we really going to need website devices, application platforms in the future? Like, I don't know. Something like Wabi, which is one of the newest thing, you may have heard of it, you may have seen what it is, and so on. This website is a very interesting website, and their whole content is a very interesting thing. And the premise of there is an app for that, and it was the case, but then nowadays it's just like the same people using the same thing, and they have created this thing, this Wabi thing that just lets you build an app on your phone. God damn, that was strong. And so it is an interesting system. It's a good overall project, good system, good idea, good thing. But that might mean that you don't need devs and or specialized app, website, whatever. So, maybe check that out if you want. It's a nice one. I mean, it's a nice one. It is nice. Um, you had a day of infinite code. What happened? Why am I not aware of this? Also, that button, goddamn, that's a very neat button. Very neat button. Yeah, no, you have someone that is not you here, and you are using the profile picture of someone that is like in one of the pages of Stoney's project in Figma. Not one, in the pages of No Mercy. So yeah. But yeah, nonetheless, I would say like your job security is secure for the next 3 years, and then you will also be not replaced, but like required to do something a bit different compared to what you are currently doing. The same goes to me, right? the designer in me has changed for sure, and the task and skills that I need to have today is much different than the task and skill that I used to need 5 years ago. Um, so yeah, it just works. I don't remember why and who asked for Jenna at that point. I do remember that we went from the Sandman because um, we had. I mean, I was watching the Sandman at that time, and then I think someone said Genotega in the chat when we talked about it, and that's what happened. We just we just landed there. So yeah. Otherwise, it's just other people. Yeah, maybe. I mean, the Sandman was also to piss off Kat because she didn't watch it. I don't think she did. She was pissed at the fact that people were still recommending it all the time. So, that's a thing. I wasn't sure about the background either. It's just don't worry about it. It's fine. It's fine. Nothing happened. It is okay. Um, but yeah, so personally speaking, um, I think overall the thing is job security for security experts is pretty good and will be pretty good for a long time until quantum computers and quantum AI comes in which case I don't think there is any need for anything anymore. However, um, knowing the current situation in the world and the direction in which most countries are going toward, I have so much doubts in AI being a positive for your job and your lack of need for a job. As said in a long time ago, the initial thought for robotics and AI was to replace us so that we could go do human stuff of creativity and fucking all around and eating and all that. And what happens is it did the opposite. So yeah, me too. There is three labs that are pretty good, and there is the light light. I forgot. There is one company from I think the US again that is creating a chip that is powered by light, or not powered by light, but like it's using photons for the states, which is pretty impressive. Um, so yeah, that was neat. Um, but nonetheless, like I don't see any of the current corporation go toward an utopia and not a dystopia. Have fun with that. Yeah, I don't see them go through and toward something that is positive for the rest of the population, other than their pockets and making profit, which I mean, not everyone can have the same mindset that I have, and that makes sense. But goddamn, I wish we could, because it would be so much better if people were not um, interested in profit and relied more on making something good. And then if money was not an issue anymore. That would be a very, very good thing for every places in the world. If we went back to trades, like regular trades, that could be neat. That could be neat. Welcome back. God damn. Why are you so itchy? Who is who's in my nose right now? God damn. I didn't know about that, Stony. That's a first. Um, that's a first, but that's good that you used it. I'm gonna say that. I'm gonna say that. So yeah, going back to the initial question that triggered this entire thing. So depending on the project, AI is there's a very specific amount of code to my repos. I think Cursor has that data in here, right here. So the AI share of committed code is 56% in my entire repos thing. So that's pretty good, meaning that half of it is AI and half of it is me. Um, but then again, uh, that basically means that some specific repos are just me because there is nothing in there. Anything that is related to the iOS apps are most of the time me thing. And then anything that is web-based is just full like this. Like 94%. God damn. Um, yeah. So that's a thing. That's the thing. It's fine. It's okay. As long as I can figure out what the project is and how it works and where things are, the better I would be. However, for ban, I don't have a single clue. I think my main reason I'm going back and forth in between the fucking scene, I'm sorry about that. Um, the main reason why I hate it is because any anything in TypeScript is either a page.tsx or layout.tsx or a whatever something.tsx, but they all have the same name. And so the amount of time that I'm editing like a schema.tsx or a page.tsx, and it's just like, I don't know what that file is or does or would be related to in any way. I have no clue and I have no way of knowing other than go inside of the tree that is there and figure out where that thing is coming from, because that's the only way that I have to know what it is. Whereas here, because of how SwiftUI work, your specific files need to have unique names. Like you can't have two files with the same name. And so it forces me to know exactly what I put in that file, what it's doing, and then um, how to use it in a way, because my brain is, you know, it's linked to this thing is called wavy line shape. What does it do? There is probably a line that is wavy and it's a shape. Probable. And guess what? That's the case. There is a line, it's wavy, and it's a shape. Oh my god, who could have thought? That's the, like, it makes things so much way easier, so much easier for me to just navigate and play with. So yeah. Yeah, whiteboard.me and link3.com could have been good. Link free would be good. I fear link free is not available. However, I love doing that. Um, shit. Let's use the fucking domain register thing. Because That's fun. If you do link dot free is a pretty good thing to check. And so checking the TLDs all the time is some of the stuff that I do. It's always good to get like a TLD that makes sense for the project, but also it's better to get like a .com or dot whatever, in order to, you know, get your information. But dot free is, as far as I remember, it is, or it was available, but they don't have dot free here. So maybe there is someone else that has dot free, like GoDaddy or whatever, and you can use that. Um, but if your first word is to like known, um, like dot link exists and they do have it. So if I go back there and we say, um, like they don't have dot free, that's what they say. But if I say free dot link, it's probably not available, right? Because it's already registered. But something dot link would be pretty good. So I'm guessing free dot me because it's two words that are common, already exist. Um, you know, like there is so many options, and going through the TLDs to look for something that makes sense, like getting a dot porn. So nice. Like, I mean, getting a dot porn, ensure that you will probably have the domain. Like a dot sex, a dot sexy, a dot porn will be, yeah. No one is gonna buy that unless they really have the need for that thing. And so, like, if you have an architecture page, and you probably have seen that um, on Instagram, the house porn, food porn, whatever. If you just do that, you do house.porn, that's a crazy domain name. People remember it immediately, and it just works. I'm sure it's already taken, but like that's the type of thing. So if you have like aesthetic content in your profile, in your page, in your whatever, and you use a dot porn instead of a dot com, so nice. That is so nice. But yeah, like a dot tags is pretty neat as well if you're doing the freelancer stuff that we talked about earlier. Um, dot TV. We don't know anyone that has a dot TV. Um, but yeah, the yeah, I don't know. Never heard of it. Um, a dot VIP is pretty good. The dot ninja is the one that we like. The dot video is also a very good thing. Like for example, Phil's could have had a dot video, but it's kind of weird, but it could work. If you are like the dot vet is pretty interesting as well for anything that is animals related, uh, vegetarian related, um, veterinarian. It's yeah, it's a vet in whatever. So we like them. The Cloudflare doesn't have a lot of TLDs compared to other platforms, and so you can 100% get like I think GoDaddy has, which even though I don't like them, they do have some better options at times. But yeah, I wish they had like the list of TLDs again on this one. Um, links.fun is an option. Uh, yeah. The main thing for me was I wanted a dot design for myself, and I got a dot design for myself. I wanted to have a design studio, and therefore I have a dot studio. I wanted to have a live business, and therefore I have a dot live. And I kind of wanted apps, so I have dot apps. Can is a dot app, Preframe is a dot app, ban is dot me for the ban me thing. But yeah, like TLDs are really impressive and interesting way of getting through stuff. Apparently, Google just got a G.AI, I think. I think I saw that earlier, 2 days ago. So if you're building something that is AI related, you can get like a .ai at the end. It's a bit like tacky and cliche, but it works. If you, yeah, if you invest in the TLDs in your domain end to something that makes sense, you for sure can have a very cool domain that is memorable because it's just, oh, it's a dot something. However, it's always the same issue. Like my mom has an email address that is a .fr at the end. And by default, a lot of companies and like contractors that she's working with for her house are expecting her to have a .com on the end of the email. And so they send the emails to a .com, which never reaches her. And that's really bad. So, yeah. And yeah, your domain is with a .tv makes so much more sense. Twitch.tv is a very interesting thing. I think Twitch.live would have been really impressive, but at the time, live wasn't a thing, or at least not the same thing. So obviously, we don't have it. And yeah, all of that. All of that. But if you do it, Kane, by the way, if you create that Canva freeform links in bio situation, I think that could be really cool. It is in my head, it's an issue on the database schema, and I'm thinking like a Dave right now, which is really bad for me, really bad for my health. Uh, the data layer on that thing is going to be so complex based on position stuff that you can either make snapshot based on changes, or you can make um, position based logs. But goddamn. And also, it's gonna be such an annoying thing for people to navigate. Like when they are going to one of these, you don't exactly have an ability to make sure that they understand how things work and how they can navigate through an infinite canvas. Like most people don't know how an infinite canvas works. So getting that out of the way is going to be the more complex thing. But yeah. You know, you said like it's 3,000 by 3,000, so you have like some sort of an infinite Canva like thing, but still, the fact that it's infinite or not infinite is not necessarily the problem. It's mostly the location and coordinate of to have the right values. Um, you did say that last time, I think. I think you did. Um, let me check. Um, God damn, my whole computer is freaking out with anything that is like transparent lately. It just doesn't make any sense. Um, God damn. You know, you didn't say anything, but I think we said 3,000, and that's what sticked, stuck in my head. Yes. Um, I guess the method that I'm currently using is the best option for an infinite-ish Canva situation because it basically creates a snapshot of the entire thing once, and then you get your update synced at the same time, so you end up with the proper output right away. Yeah, yeah, but that's the thing. I would say that is the most complex thing to achieve because let's say I am on my MacBook Pro, which is a 2000 width, roughly, 1700 something. Um, and I'm doing it here, but you are watching it on a 24-inch display, so you have like so much more real estate. You place something somewhere, and the coordinates don't equate to the coordinate on my Mac, but I still need to see the entirety of your content. So there is a logic in this is the Canva that I have and I'm working with, and then I'm placing object at um, arbitrary locations based on percentage from the edge. Like that's basically what needs to happen in your case in order for me to be able to still see the entirety of your Canva on a small screen without having to scroll around too much. So that logic and that uh, data point saving is going to make it so hard to figure out exactly how to place things on a Canva if it's not a Canva. So if it's based on the like on the user's window size, you end up with things that are not reliable. So that's really bad. I mean, really bad. It's not so good. And then, yeah, unless you do like that thing with um, position relative to edge, but then that's kind of bad. Specifically if you have like many of them. The example that I'm getting here is if I go to Bento and I go to my Bento specifically, it is tight. I don't have much stuff, right? It's a very easy thing to see. I have the content and, you know, we're good. If I go to Roji instead, Roji has so much content and so much videos and so much links and so much people that if you had that in an infinite Canva Figma file situation, that's wild. Like you would need to ensure that everything is placed properly and uh you know, yeah, grid.me would be pretty good. um it is the thing that I said last time of me wanting to have multiple rendering options um, is if I'm currently on the grid system, which is what I have, switching from grid to list is so easy because it's just saying, well, you force each of the cards that you currently have to a 1:4 aspect ratio. And so in a desktop view, you would just see one, for example. And then on a mobile view, it's the exact same thing. So the list is pretty cool. There might be a bit less different spacing in between the elements, but that's about it. The grid view is the same thing. So you have like one layout saved for the grid, one layout saved for the list, and then you need one layout saved for the Canva. And that's when things started to be like a way more complex things to do, because it's just, how do I know where things are? How do I make sure that things are in the right place in every single potential screen sizes? Like, if I'm here, like if I have a screen that is that big, then the content is still at the center and I'm fine with it. If I have um, a screen that is like that small, it's going to be fine. If it's smaller than that, it's going into the mobile version of it. So, you know, it's it's a thing. It's a lot of things. Also, that one is funny. Cloud front. What the fuck is that? Ah, I see. I see. I see. It is. It is. It is. Um, that's interesting. That's an interesting thing. I'm I'm gonna I'm gonna need you to check these things. Hey, it's not working, so that's not gonna be a very good help, but it's not a bad idea, nonetheless. So the grid overall is gonna be the easiest thing for you to have because it's the safest. If you wanted to do something that is a bit more um, creative, you could have more columns. Right now, um, basically the column system here is set to be like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, roughly. You have 8 columns, and you can place things in the middle if you want to. Like that's it's not good, but you can. And that's one of my differentiators compared to Bento and other platforms, because I'm not like fixed to the grid itself. So if you wanted to have like indentation on the side, you could. Not the best option, but you could. And that alone is an interesting system, um, but it's not good. So you could have something with like one more column, two more columns, maybe something that is just a big ass grid, and then this thing is at the top. The current thinking for me is having like a very like me card. So I get something like this from 5 years ago, which was my website. Um, like having your card for your presentation is a good thing, and then having your cards for your links on the side is, the easiest thing to do. And I like to have this website still up because that proves precedent on what I wanted to create. Like I always had this layout before Bento existed. So having information on the side and then that on this side is a thing. But it could change, could have like a different layout here. Nonetheless, I do think that this is still the best option for a paid feature that is just making sure that the people that are wanting to have some sort of um, you know, a more customized interface for their own page, that makes so much more sense. But yeah, I don't know. I don't know. The only thing that is different right now is the fact that the only one that is a one block height is my dividers, um, compared to what Bento is doing, where these things can be one as well. Like it could have been two one-liners. So we'll see. We'll see what we do with that. But yeah, nonetheless, links in bio are just so. Oh, there are so many of them. There are so many platforms that I've seen that are doing the same thing. And the reason for that is the initial link in bio platforms did not allow OnlyFans and other porn related website to be linked in there for whatever fucking reason. I don't know. Um, but yeah, like that's the thing that happened. They just the initial one, the link in bio one, didn't allow that, and therefore someone else created only links for many reasons, and then Linktree and so on. So we'll see. We will see. I like the fact that these two are just also the flash every time. I'm sorry about that, but like that is basically the same content almost. Um, I still need to figure out how to get the fucking login to work because that's not. We are so close. I know that one of them didn't work. Um, so we passed it already, but it's not passed. That counter is fine. So yeah, you could probably do something about it and create like a really good whiteboard situation. I don't know what else we can use. Like that's the other thing. Going back to what we were saying about job security for security related devs, specifically now in the era of vibe coders, which is like secure for now, and then it's not going to be. My take still remain. I don't know if in the next 20 years we are. 20 years is a long time, but I don't know if we will still need links to website based on how current consumption of the web happens. Most people, a lot of people are going through websites through AI agents and other things, which is kind of bad for the websites themselves and their revenues and so on. But there is no web browsing anymore. There is web browsed and then served. And so, in a future where the web is browsed for you and served to you based on your need, um, it's like interesting to see that maybe a link in bio situation doesn't make any sense and you just need like an MD file hosted somewhere and LLMs can just fetch that, read that, have the information, serve the information, and be done with it. So there's a lot of uncertainty in in the internet state of the internet in the next 10 to 20 years, for sure, at least from my point of view, there is so much things that can switch so fast. So, yeah, I did like your 240 days, kind of crazy. And also, yes, like it will never beat you unless you miss a stream. You know, could happen. Have a good meeting. Have a good meeting. But yeah, so that's a thing as well. I don't know if websites are such a vital part of us as humans. I feel like the internet is uh I know you can miss your meeting. um the I mean, I am not older than websites, but I am older than Google. So my my whole life I've known websites existed, even though slow to access in the beginning, and then now uh, not kind of. Um, you basically may have, probably will have at some point a time where website is not very much a thing anymore. We may have endpoints that are linked to users that are not linked to servers but linked to devices, and devices being clusters of devices connected to uh, a network of some sort that is accessible through the clusters. I'm basically the describing blockchain right now. It could happen, and you could have like your device, like your phone, is your hosting powers, and you don't need to host anything on Amazon, on Cloudflare, on whatever. It's just like it's in your phone. It's on your own device, which is your own owned content, and your endpoint is your device. And so if people want to contact you, they go to your endpoint, and it's basically what a website is, but it's distributed across multiple devices instead of data centers. Um, because as we've said and seen, most content for people, regular users, not power users, isn't a terabyte. Like you don't have the need for a terabyte of data uh, as a single user. And knowing how the tech for storage is better now, going to a device that holds 10 terabytes of data potential, that's it. Like, you don't need more than that, and no one would need more than that. The fact that we already have phones that can hold 5 terabytes, 2 terabytes of data, uh, you know, it's a thing. So hosting on your phone directly, your phone that never is really shut down for most people, and is connected to the internet, or at least to a network 99% of the time, unless you are in a remote area. That is something that could be an alternative to the current state of things. And I'm not saying that this is the direction in which we're going, but it is potentially a time where websites and endpoints are different and websites are not necessary. And the only thing that we need is a markdown file at the root of our devices that just explain everything about the endpoint, who's the endpoint's owner is, and what it contains and what can they do. And that's it. Like, we don't know. So again, in 20 years, the entirety of the infrastructure that we know today might have collapsed twice. Not really, but might have collapsed once, and then we are on a very different system. Or it's something a bit different, and it's just we're still on the system by system, owned by corporation data centers with websites. But I have doubts. I really have doubts on that. I don't think the web as now is gonna retain its shape for a long time. I think we're gonna probably pivot at some point to something a bit more customized, humane, organic, shaped. And I I do think that as soon as people understand what blockchain is and stop associating it with crypto, which is never going to happen, at least not in the next 10 years, we're going to be better in terms of tech. But until that happens, that's going to take a while. That's going to be something that is a potential goal. I do think that crypto is not a bad thing. It's just the people using it are making it sound bad and look bad for anyone else. It's usually the same thing. Like I said the exact same thing from NFTs. NFTs are a very good tech that we already have that we didn't call NFT and isn't on a blockchain based thing. But because there are people that have decided to say, oh yeah, an NFT is just an image, or we can have images that are on the blockchain and you can buy images from there, then people see that as a negative point, which is kind of true. That system of NFTs just doesn't really exist. The NFT itself is the receipt, and then the receipt points to your place that has an image to it, but that's about it. And when people understand that a receipt is an NFT by default, so if you are receiving an email receipt, it is an NFT. And yeah, as soon as people understand tech, we have a better output potential. And so blockchain, NFTs, other things that are currently used for negative purposes will be used in a better light if we just educate the people that are not educated about it yet. But that's a different debate. That is also a different fight. That's going to take a while to happen. And it's the same thing with AI for me. It's like based on semantic, AI doesn't exist. Um, I said that many times. Something that is artificial cannot be intelligent, and something that is intelligent cannot be artificial. This is the semantics type of things. And if we use the new term, which I'm trying to do most of the time, um, if you use the regular term of algorithm, people are like, "Oh, yeah, cool." An algorithm is fine. But if you say an AI, people are like, "Well, I don't like that." It's the same thing. So I don't know. Um, yeah, that's a very good thing. I think the only this is gonna this is gonna place me in specific situations. Please, if you are the CIA or any government officials, get the fuck out. But there are platforms on the internet in different stratosphere of the internet that have only cryptocurrencies payments, and said platforms have something called an escrow. And the escrow in your cryptocurrency transaction means that you send the funds to the escrow, and when the user on the other end receives the thing that they bought, the um, the escrow unlock the funds for that person. So, right, you buy something, it puts the money in the escrow. If you receive the thing, the money is unlocked. If that's not the case, if you didn't receive anything, it goes back to you. And there is like tracking and things and whatever, and it's on trust. And in these sphere of the internet, it's not really trusty, but it still works. So for the NFT games, for example, if there was something like an escrow system that holds funds and content and user information before any transaction happens, it could basically create a temporary buffer in between the transaction really happening and the action taking place. And that would fix the issue. But yeah. But then again, going back to your NFT games, the fact that some countries, I forgot which one it was, have transferred their economy entirely um, into an NFT game. At some point, I forgot which one it was. It was a blue-ish game, and you basically were getting paid for playing the game. Um, it is still a true blockchain. That's the thing. It's just that you have a block in the middle that is a temporary block. But once the transaction is done, that temporary block is set in stone. So if your initial transaction goes to the temporary and it goes back to you, that temporary remains there as a trace, but it just means bounce back. And if it goes through, you can still trace the blockchain thing. So it is still true blockchain. It's just not instant blockchain transaction. Um, that's the difference. But it is kind of. Um, but yeah, no, I get it. I do think that any transaction games, like paying games and so on, is never a good idea. Um, it's never really good to have like money in a game, gambling and so on. So I get it, but also I've seen so many people make so much money in so little time from these things that I understand the appeal. Um, it makes sense from a human point of view. You just want to get to make some money, and these things just proves to you that you can make 50K in 3 seconds if you are like good enough. So I get it. Um, but goddamn. Nonetheless, it's the same. I mean, it's the same thing that I just said. It's because the use of the tech right now is usually for something that is presented as negative and not good. People will not adopt the tech because they don't understand how it works. But if we had something, um, you know, it's nah, it's a good option. What do you mean, master mod badge? What, what is that? What is that? What is a master mod badge? Uh, what is that? I mean, it's not in emotes. I guess it's gonna be in community, role manager. Oh, lead moderator. I see. I see. You have an axe? It's a no, it's a hammer. It's a hammer. It's the hammer. What's the oh it's the editor mode thingy. It's not very much the thing. Mm. I mean you would need to edit my videos for me. Will you do that? And if you do, maybe. uh, I don't think I would trust um, AI edited content, mainly because when I have tried AI edited content, it's never been really good based on how chaotic the stream is. The last, also today is a recap day, so we need to do a recap on what happened this week because the first week of the year and so on. But that's a different thing. It is harder for an AI to figure out the entirety of the story from a stream because my train of thoughts go from story A to B to C to A again to C to A again to C to B. And it's just really hard for them to figure out through the entire script and the entire transcript of the video why, what can happen and so on. So if I go into, um, I guess, I guess it's not that. I guess it's that. Yep. um, so some of these videos right there, right, they are very, very short, very, very easy to get, and so on. And when I'm just recording myself with my script on purpose, then this is a good enough script to just like, see things. I can do my edits and I can do my stuff. Your homework, come in. How are you? How's everything going? So that is good. But then in something like a full stream um, output like that, like a 4 hour neat, like a 4 hour thing where I have so much content in there, you don't necessarily know what is like a highlight or not a highlight. Like this thing for uh sorry, let me do something. Mm, yeah. I love these things because they are like automated and they don't work. Sorry. No, I didn't fix all the things. Basically, the issue that I have is also the congrats on landing, Stoney. Just on the edge. the the login and log out work locally. Like from here, I can log out and I'm gonna be logged out and it's gonna be fine. But from production, for some fucking reason, if I go and click on the settings things, I'm getting a 4-4, which to me, that doesn't understand shit. Well, I don't understand. That's the thing. So yeah, even your screenshot that you shared doesn't help me in any way, shape, or form. It's the same thing for you, but it's basically as if there was some issues in the system. But then I tried, I figured out something, and I tested it in local and it worked. So that's why I said it was working, and then it wasn't. Um, so that's bad. But I'm hurting or hitting a different wall right now. I am currently on the free tier of Cloudflare, and that alone is limited to 3 MIB. I don't know what that is. It's not megabytes, but it's limited. And my current setup is at 2.97. And if I add the logout, I'm going over. So that is gonna be bad. Vera, welcome in. How are you? How have you been? Uh, I don't know how you can tell that, but yeah. Your color broke my color cursor though. God damn it. But welcome in. How are you? How's the day going? How is everything? So that's the thing. I don't fucking understand why I'm getting a 404 when I'm clicking on a button. Like that makes no sense. It's not, I mean, it just makes absolutely no sense. And then the log out just not logging me out makes no sense. So you can log out by clearing your cache and cookies. Cool. Still a bad ID, but it's still an option. And this is the frustration part for me because I don't get it. I'm using Clerk, which is supposed to manage and handle the entirety of uh, the authentication system. So it has sign in and sign out, but it doesn't work, and that doesn't make any fucking sense. So yeah, um, yeah, I have the same thing, Vero. I am productive when it's quiet outside, when everyone is uh sleeping in the morning. So yeah. Basically, the colored um, things. Also, that yes, uh, the cursor is coming on the screen to say welcome on it and so on. Your blue is so bright that it kind of broke the thing. But yeah, it's neat nonetheless. I do like it. I like it in the background. I think it's pretty cool to have like as I mentioned before, because it reacts to who is currently typing. The background is gonna react to Stony adding something, so there is a bit of red around here, a bit of blue around here, and it's just changed across who is currently active and so on. Like that's a very cool and reactive background. I did that on Tuesday. It was fun. So yeah. Um but yeah, I am fine. I'm not fine, but I'm fine. It just pisses me off because I'm trying to get log in, log out to work, but login doesn't. And I mean, login works, but doesn't, and log out doesn't work at all. So like right now, I'm logging out, cool, and I'm, you know, I'm logged out, all good. If I sign in or get started or whatever, right, I already have an account. Um, So I'm just gonna use the local stuff and be done with it. It's gonna be working, and I'm fine with it. I can go into my dashboard, which is my thing, and we're good. That is in local, regular thing, right? Whatever. If I go there, which is production, and for the sake of production, I need to clear stuff out, that logs me out. Cool. All good. Just gonna refresh for the sake of refreshing. If I sign in and go with the entire thing, I'm getting this. I'm spinning, I'm getting a 4 or 5, and it's not working. However, guess what? If I refresh the page, I'm logged in. I I'm logged in and I can access the content in production. There is no issue. So that makes no sense because Clerk is supposed to take care of the auth and it's supposed to work, but it doesn't. And then from here, if I want to log out, I I I I can't log out. And I try to do that, what you're describing. I try to say, clear cache, clear cookies for that website on logout, and it didn't really work because you can't really force a data clear from the website. It needs to be a user defined thing. And I could do a refresh, but then I would also want the thing to not have to fake a refresh because it works, but it doesn't work. Like it should be as easy as yeah, log in. All good. But no. So I don't know. Um I don't know, and I've been battling with this thing for 2 days because as always, not a dev and just using cursor for that, and um I don't get it. Ah, one day I'll probably figure it out, but that is not today. And again, I am tempted to rewrite the entire thing in not TypeScript if that's an option. Like if there is a better language that would make more sense for me to uh, not use and simplify and minify and so on. I would I would love to do so, and I mean I would love to ask an AI to do so for me. But god damn, is it an annoyance? This is such a pain in the ass. But you know, it's fine. I'm gonna figure it out. I mean, I only have been working on that for 3 days. That's not much. That is not much. It's fine. It's an okay thing. Yeah, your color is bright on that white background. Um, yeah, I mean that would work. I mean I wouldn't. That's true. Yeah. Uh, yeah. It's really wild. Like that's the whole thing that is bothering me so much. It's Clerk is telling you we are here to help you get your authentication system to be as streamlined and as easy um, as possible to, just go through. You install Clerk and then it's done. That's it. You have the page, the widgets are done, everything is good, everything is supposed to work. And then you use it and it doesn't. So anything that is like um web-based, I think this is my first and probably last project on the web. It's it's a post. Um it's supposed to be a post, but I mean based on the errors that we are getting, it's a post that is not rented for some reason. There is a get to The get is weird, first of all. The get is when you are opening the settings menu, as in there is a get right there, whatever. And then there is a post when you're trying to log out, and it's an unexpected response. And the thing is, even going in there doesn't really help me in any way because it's just like, um, I can't read that. Like, I, I don't, I don't know what that means. So, yeah. Um, you said request. Where the fuck is request? Huh? That? I don't think that's gonna help me in any ways. Um, like that makes no sense to me. That additional thing makes no sense. Yeah, it is. At least I have a ghost. Well, if you are going, have a good rest of your day. Thanks for stopping by. Appreciate it. Uh, yeah. I mean, technically, um, the thing is A is the slug. So for anyone, it's just like band.me/slug, and then anything else like the I mean, let me rephrase that. The thing that is happening is we are currently in ban.me/editor/a, and we want to log out the user and redirect them to /slug, so /a directly, so that they just arrive on their profile but logged out and they can see how it looks, rather than sending them to the homepage of the platform, because that has no use for them. But that's it. And it just there is like a system or something that doesn't make any sense for me, first of all. Um, and yeah, I don't know. I don't know. And all of these tools, nonetheless, right? You are giving me direction kind of thing where you are saying, go here, go to network, go to preview or whatever. That helps as much as not much. Because even this thing, I can't really send that to Cursor to figure out why it's broken. Um, because it's just, yeah. Also, that's wild. That is a wild amount of data that is in the front end. So, yeah. There is also other thing that I was contemplating, yes, thinking about, related to currently it's using a lot of JavaScript, and I know that if I disable scripts, the entire thing falls apart. And I would love to simplify the entirety of the website and concept into something that is just like easier to render rather than being that heavy thing. So I might have to do that as well, which goes back to what I said earlier. It would be a good idea for me to just rewrite the entire thing from scratch, in a different language or in a different way with a different system in place based on what I already have. Um, but yeah, I don't know. Also, I just noticed something. 1 second. Better. There was a sliver of the chat that was off the ground. So yeah, I don't know. I don't know. I guess the other thing that is pissing me off is the fact that the Cloudflare pages size is I'm reaching the size that is like the top of the free tier, and I can't really afford the $5 a month, um, for that specific thing, because it's like it shouldn't be there. So yeah, I might have to just strip down some of the features, including the analytics that I just added, and simplify some things so that it is slimmer of a code base. But then I don't know how to do that. But we'll see. We will see. At some point, maybe I will have something that works. I have doubts. Um, and now I have a message from Clark in my emails. God damn it, that's crazy. Ah. They're saying your feedback is invaluable to us, and I'm having a tough time. Indeed. Um, we'll see if I can send them a DM or send them a message directly to say, well, this is shit, and I don't get it. It doesn't work for me. It was supposed to be simple, and it's not. Like, that's the same thing. My misconception, and I guess this is just me being a dumbass and not reading the documentation, as always. But the fact that I had to create a Google developer account and a new developer account app on Google to get access to Google authentication system, and that the Google authentication system, the default one, doesn't work with Clerk in web view browsers um, from the app. So yeah, we are getting 4 or 5, which makes no sense either. um, like I don't get it. We don't get it. No one's getting it. So yeah, I don't know. I don't know. Yeah, I I don't know what I can do to fix this. And the thing that is kind of annoying for me is that in the local stuff, it works. And it doesn't make any sense that it works in local and it doesn't work in production. Um, so yeah, I do. I do. It's just like I no, you know what? You're right. I don't. Um, I don't. I have the need for the proxy, which is the new thing that Clerk is asking for. But if I'm adding it, I'm going over my limit of the free tier of Cloudflare. So I need to figure out where I can scrape from the project to basically slim it down as much as I can to remain in the free tier of Cloudflare Worker um, actions. And yeah. Um, Yeah, no, that's the thing. I don't know. Um, I'm gonna wait a bit because that's something that I want Opus to take a look at, and I don't have credits now. I have credits in 2 weeks, kind of, a week and a half. So that's probably gonna get fixed next week or in 2 weeks, but not now unless I figure it out with the free tier chats that I have access to. And what I've been seeing so far is that everything or every time that I have tried one of these um, things triggered, I end up with the LLM doing the exact same thing. So it's, yeah, it's kind of bad. It is kind of bad. I wouldn't say that, but I appreciate it. Thank you. Um, But you see, going back to something that I said uh, a long time ago now, this is the reason why I have some issues in terms of um, the build and dev of content for the web, specifically in JavaScript in general, because I cannot explain or read the content. However, Stony, that has more knowledge than me, has the ability to potentially explain the issue faster and better than what I'm probably potentially able to do. And so that might work, but yeah. Um, the thing is, what you have described as after submitting my 2FA, from Clerk, I'm making a post request to the homepage and this is not working. That's not necessarily true because I already have done my two-factor authentication once, and then eh, yeah, I don't know. So when Clerk complete two-factor authentication, it was attempting to post to the homepage slash, however, Next.js pages only and the get request for rendering, except post request. This causes the authentication flow to fail after 2FA verifications. So made a change in the client provider that is basically sending the user to the dashboard, which is supposed to happen, and that makes sense. And then you created the middleware. Middleware is something that we don't want to have. Long travelers, welcome on in. How are you? How's the day going? Um, and it's not productive. It's been really badly productive, but I appreciate it. Um, yeah, the thing is, my sign-in redirect URLs are already set up to sign in. And we don't have the sign out. Like the after sign out URLs isn't a defined thing. So that's something that I know. You know, I mean that's good. And then that's the middleware. The middleware is going to be explaining here, right? That right now, based on that data, middleware is not something that is liked, which is kind of weird, but whatever. What I used to do is just this. That kind of works, kind of. Not really. This was an interesting one, by the way, because I've been doing that specific prompt 6 times today, if not more. Google model Gemini was a bit more puzzled based on its reply, and saying that that the entirety of the training model that they worked with was saying that to use middleware, but then the thing used proxy instead and was puzzled about it, which is pretty interesting. But I don't think that's such a difference. So we'll see. We will see. Yeah, I mean, that's what I said. That's what I told you in the beginning. I'm just like, um, I don't know how to explain the issues, and I can't create some sort of a like um, developer style bug report compared to what I know based on that, because it's just like I don't know, I don't know what to say. So that's the thing. This is supposed to be in my no, not in my session, in my developer path thing. Um, why am I in dev? That makes no sense. Um, yeah, the thing is, so again, I agree with you. This is what I should do. I'm not denying that. What I'm saying is, overall, I don't know what I did. I don't know what happened. I do know what I expected, but that's it. The rest, I can't. So one and two, I don't know. Um, I can say when I click on a button, I'm getting a 404, which makes absolutely no sense. And yeah, um, mhm. I don't know how to read that. That's the thing. I don't understand shit in there. Um, One of the things that I've done as well is remind the models that I have no understanding, and yeah, like I don't know. Yeah, I get that. I appreciate it, but um, I guess this is something that I need to rebuild um, in there. So that probably gonna help. It doesn't. It does. It doesn't. Uh, See that? What do you mean? Underscore in the name? Ugh. Ugh. uh, I don't remember what I did for the slugs checking, so I can check that. Yeah, you see, that's bad. Damn. I'm guessing this is gonna refresh itself, but also, you see, that is something that I don't understand. The amount of fucking thing that is restarting at the same time um, makes no sense. I don't, I don't like front end stuff ever. Um, we refresh that. We have something, um, and then that is also something that I noticed. So this is there. I would agree with you, but I don't. I know that it's usually when it's deprecated, that doesn't mean that it's deprecated right away. It still works, but it's just a heads up for later. And so I would rather have that set up already, but you know, I mean, the thing for me right here for that is the fact that the entirety of um the force redirect URL thing that I did twice already, and then it reverted and I forgot. Um, it's just ah, mm. Ah, I don't know. I don't have token limits. Uh, I do have model limits. Mizzy, hi, what way? How are you? How's the day going?
1972 and 1973, a series of murders shocked Northern California. College
So
girls.
it works locally. That's the thing. Ah, and there is no issues when I'm clicking on this, and there is no issues when I'm clicking on this on local, which makes absolutely no sense. I mean, it does make sense, but um, ah, that was far away. That was too far away. That was so close. I was so close. God. Um, can I what? In the network tab, you said visible cache. That's what you're saying, and you want me to probably just, you know, refresh the page. I'm guessing already. Uh, yeah, I mean there is both. There is a get and there is a post for both of these things, but that doesn't seem to be anything I could, uh, you know. I'm gonna say something that might be the truth or not. I don't know. The only thing that I know is that at some point this menu was kind of looking like shit, and specifically is looking like shit when you are in the free tier. And so you end up with what I did is I ended up with simplifying and centralizing the buttons to be all the same as one component and then having their actions separated and so on. And so that's what's supposed to be here. And that might be the reason why there is a get issues, because it's getting the components that is supposed to be displayed here. But that's not the same get as get and post code that we are getting here. So I don't really understand it. I haven't tried helium. I have been to the platform, um, and then decided to download it and forgot about it. I yeah, I think I went there and then forgot to click. Um, I don't even know if I'm disabling or not disabling the default behavior. Is that the menu wasn't behaving like the menu. It was supposed to behave like a menu, and therefore I just I asked it to do something else, and it worked. But um, roughly, that's the thing. So if I'm on free tier, the the menu that is here is supposed to have a unified design language, and that wasn't the case. So I had to unify each of these thing to be one specific component, but the logout doesn't have that specific thing for some reason, and I don't understand why. Uh, and it's broken. It's broken. I I guess this is one of the reasons why it is the way that it is and kind of broken. It is probably part of that, but uh, I forgot. I think I need to. Uh, Fuck. Ah, yeah. I think I need to do that. But I forgot. Yeah. I don't think that will change anything, to be honest. But we never know at this point. Uh, we never know. Um, that's never gonna change anything, but I'm gonna do it anyways. Um, fuck. Ah, yeah. I mean, I can say that, but I feel like that's not gonna change anything. The thing is, it is just in production. It works in dev. It works in dev. It's kind of weird though. No, don't you think that it's kind of weird that it doesn't work in production, but it doesn't it does work in dev, and it's just making no sense. I'm gonna check. It still doesn't behave like a button. Still, that's the thing. Huh? Hmm. Hmm. I guess we're testing in broad, but I have so much fear on this where I feel like this is not gonna go through. I just again, as I said, the current state of my Cloudflare worker thingy is uh so bad. Like the worker itself and the deployment, I'm getting these errors on repetition right there because I am at the limit of the build size apparently. Um, so any additional code that we just did might just tip me over and just fail the publication and the deployment without me being able to do anything about it other than removing features that I just added. So yeah, I'm um, I'm unsure. I'm unsure. Oh. We'll see. We'll see. I doubt. I doubt so much. So much doubt. It failed again. Oh. But why though? Yeah, it's the edge thing. Is the right time? Kana, welcome on in. How are you? How's the day going? Everything is pixelated. You're not seeing anything. You are not. Yeah, so much doubt. I like that uh, my commits are called doubts, and yeah. Congratulations on having the emotes again. I don't know why you didn't have them anymore, but congrats, I guess. Also, last time, basically earlier today, when I did this and I had something that went through after having clearing up some whatever, it just gave me 500s, error 500s on the editor and the profile page, which makes no sense. And I don't know how to fix that in any way, shape, or form. So, yeah, it's kind of bad. It's kind of bad. Uh, oh, I see. So you're getting gifted subs every time. Congrats. Congrats on the gifted subs. That's good. That's good for everyone. You know, not gonna. By the way, I had a question. Also, that was weird. Um, for fuck's sake. How's the YouTuber GTA thing going? Where are you on this one? Is it still going? That I mean, I've seen it 16 times today, so that's what it is. But um, it's just Cloudflare is expecting things to be on Edge runtime, and Next is not allowing this. So it's just it's wild. Um, it's let me click on that link instead of being here in the fucking non-working shit that we have. Mm. You have logins now, which is exactly what I'm trying to fix on my side. Yeah. Ah, lol. All right. Fuck off then. Don't worry about the glitches. The glitches are because my Mac is shit. That's about it. That's about it. We like it. We like it. I should make myself one of these websites as well, to be honest, with all of the links and all of the things. I kind of do already, but yeah. Impressive! The application has built. And I'm probably gonna have to revert everything in like a second or two because of other things like that. Ah, for fuck's sake. Ah. Oh. Again, as I said earlier, I feel like it's a matter of like 3 lines of code. Yeah, and welcome on in. How are you? The fact that I can kind of read the pixelated text on the stream is pretty interesting. Um, you know what? I don't care anymore. I'm gonna push that and see. Um, mm. Uh, yeah, basically. I'm not. The non-dev is talking about code. That's what's happening. Nothing works. Everything is on. Everything needs to run on the edge, like edge function, and apparently, it needs to be on the SSR something. Nox, welcome on in. How are you? How's the day going? The SSR, yeah. And that doesn't make any fucking sense because nothing works. That's where I am. I'm currently dying and it pisses me off. And none of these logs makes any sense to me. And yeah, it's really bad. It is really bad because the login, like logging in and logging out, don't work. Logging in doesn't seem to be working. And I think you're right. Kinda. My main thing is, oh god damn it, I'm gonna kill someone, and that's gonna be me. Sorry, it's gonna happen. It's just Yeah, my main issue is when you buy a service like Glow for authentication, it's supposed to just work. Like that's basically what they're saying. Um, so yeah, like nothing makes sense. Um, that is also true. Yeah. Oh, for fuck's sake. I doubt. I doubt. I doubt. I don't. God damn it, that's the wrong button. I don't think that's gonna do anything. But that's where we are. The thing that I saw as well is that I reached the limit of the computing, the worker computing at one day because I was like at 90 or yeah, 98% of processing power used, which makes no sense because I'm doing nothing. But apparently it still was using so much. So yeah. Was this one like dismissed so fast? No. Okay, cool. Um, eh. I wish that never happens to me. Uh, that's what I'm gonna say. It's probably gonna happen one day, but I wish that never happens to me because I can't compare. I can't say, well, this is better than this. I wouldn't be able to know. So, yeah, I also have a feeling that this is something that I should have done before sending the build, but I didn't. So maybe it will go through. I doubt it again. I don't think it will. I don't think it will. Huh? And here is where it fails. Usually. And now it went through, which is good, but we're still above the limit, kinda. Um, oh my god. It went through. Now, everything is gonna be broken, like it did a second ago. So let me just refresh that. 500. Huh. Ah. The thing that I had, because I had that happen earlier, um, clearing cache and cookies to go back to this point on the signing in system was kind of working, right? I'm getting the system, I'm getting the login, and officially speaking, I'm getting through, but now I I'm not getting through, and it makes no sense. And this works. It's just why are we on experimentals? I don't know. I don't know why we are, but apparently the edge middleware thing, like edge on middleware, is something that said earlier that was needed to be um, somewhere. So yeah, I don't, I don't know. But that's usually the part where I'm just reverting to where the fuck I stopped, um, because it's pissing me off, and nothing necessarily comes out of this. So, like, it's easy. It would be easier for me to just revert something and then re-implement it later, um, rather than or reattempt to implement it later. What? Goddamn, that is so bad. Mm-hmm. It's a fair point as well. Maybe, maybe that works. I don't know. I don't know. I guess again, going back to what I said, the size limit was happening once I added this thing, and the I guess the bugs happened once I added this thing because I simplified this menu. So probably, maybe, um, getting something like a rework on that feature would be a better idea for me to just get something to well, work. But not good. Not good nonetheless. Because right now with that change, uh, that's probably not gonna go through either. So that's a wild thing.
When night comes, the veil of time falls, and only
My sister sent me a message
eternal Elysium.
about cats. Let me see 1 second. Uh, she's asking for a very specific cat, so I don't know exactly what cat to send. God damn it. Ah, well, I think I'll need to sleep on that, to be honest, because that's not working at all in the slightest in my head, in the code, in anything. Um, so yeah, that's really bad. We're gonna see that. So one of the things that I wanted to do today specifically, and then I think I'm gonna get out of here, is the recap of the week because that is important. After the 4 months of December being out, um, you, I mean, it was pretty nice, but that's a thing. Coming back for 1 week, it's the first week. That's what we do. The sleep is not as good as it was what I was off, and the headaches are coming back, which is not a good sign either. I have more chest pain than when I was off, so that's bad as well. But um, it's nice to have someone to showcase the fuck that I'm doing, and probably you helping me. Like that's the thing. So, uh, we're still going to continue at least for next week. And as I said, this new schedule, new thing is set to be working for 3 months at a minimum because I need the data to make sure that I have this on a proper scale. But based on that, I'm gonna be consistent for these next, how much that is, 14 weeks, 15 weeks, roughly, to make sure that we have enough information about it, and then we will decide if the stream has to go, because I can do more when I'm just on my own, or if the stream continues. But for first week, thank you for being here, as always. Highly appreciate it. And thank you for coming back, but we'll see what else we can do. That's the main thing. Nonetheless, I'm going to see if someone is live at this time of day. I have doubts. But yeah, probably quitting for a lot of reasons. But yeah. Yeah, probably. Probably. Agreed. So yeah, as always, thanks a lot for being here. Highly appreciate it. We'll see what we can do next week. I'll see if I can fix the logins while I can. I don't know. I have doubts. That's also hi bye. Uh, thank you for being here. Appreciate it. Um, and yeah, I shall be back on Monday at 1:30 or at 1. I don't know how I feel on that day. Take care of yourself. Eat something, drink something, be kind to each other, the usual thing. You know the drill. This was stream number 3, not stream number 2, and I forgot. That's my bad. Everything is wrong today. So yeah, we'll see what we can do. I'll see if I can fix the fucking login thing and the size, overall size of the content to see if it works. But yeah, we have a word in binary and I don't know what that is. So yeah, take care of yourself and I'll see you soon. Bye.